Hi, you guys. We're Creators Barn podcast talking music, and as a bit of a change from the normal episodes that you've seen up until now, I have got the originals band, the Fazeleys, in with me. Well, 3 members out of the 4. So I'm going to hand things straight over to these guys, and I've got a list of topics that I want to talk about. And welcome, gents.
Hello, how are you doing?
All right, Des.
How's
Good to see you,
doing?
Des.
Nice to meet you guys as well.
Nice to meet you. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some topics that you guys have sent over.
Cool.
And we've had a quick chat about where you want to start, and I want to kind of just hand things over to you a little bit. So you can, where do you want to start, gents?
We talk about just how we met. Really,
Yeah,
and
that's a good start, yeah.
Well,
Good start,
it started with you two, didn't it?
Yeah.
We
How
met
did we
on
meet?
Join My Band.
Join My
didn't we?
Band, yeah.
In
When was it now? Was it
December 2022,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So we'd all been in bands obviously previously, hadn't
Yeah,
we? And
that's
kind
right,
of,
yeah.
I think, starting to lose hope really of finding a meaningful band. And then obviously
Yeah.
we met, didn't we? Exchanged
Yeah.
some demos. A few kind of members later, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
You've got your own interesting
So-
story, haven't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was just leaving teaching, and I was currently at Columbia at the time. And I made an advert on Join My Band, and Dylan contacted me.
Yeah.
And I just said that I was a multi-instrumentalist, primarily guitar, keyboard. I did a bit of bass. And you messaged me saying, we want a bass player. And you sent me a OneDrive full of demos. And I thought, wow, there's 8 or 10.
There was quite a lot.
There was a lot of original stuff. And it was like, yes, okay, it may have been a dictaphone in the corner of the room, but it was like, there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah.
And they're just and there was keyboard at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, there could be something that could come from this. So, but the thing is, it wasn't my taste of music.
No.
Because I'm more into the heavy metal, hard rock. And I thought, well, they sound like they've got something going here. So I thought I'd give it a go.
So you joined, didn't you?
Yeah.
And which was because the bass player before you came to rehearsal, but he brought his own sandwiches, which he hadn't wrapped and had them in his pockets. So we thought we best knock him on the head. So then George joined, and
So anything's better than that, really.
a couple of drummers later,
Yeah.
we ended up with Rich, the
Yeah.
wonderful Rich, who can't be with us tonight, but we love him very much.
Yeah.
And that was in January last year, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that's right, yeah.
Just over 12 months together now, and we've done quite a lot in that period of time.
Yeah.
How many gigs have we done, George?
Oh God! Well, last year
can't actually
I know, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in function bands. Oh, I do 30 gigs a week. Well, to us, because we're or whatever it is, or 30 gigs a month.
Yeah.
And but we did like over 20 in 1 year, and considering
Yeah.
we do
Yeah.
work, we do
We'll
jobs
work full time, yeah.
We'll work full time. We have
Yeah.
our own jobs. We have our own commitments, and you know, it'd be interesting because it's not like in 1960 where everyone lived up the road from each other. I mean, as far as I'm aware, every member of Black Sabbath lived in Aston,
Yeah.
and we don't live up the road from each other.
We're from all over. So you two
Yeah.
are probably the closest geographically. Whereabouts are you from?
Yeah.
Castle Bromwich originally, now in Waterhorton, so I'm on the edge of. I'm kind of 15 minutes outside of Birmingham. You're
Yeah.
It's like borderline Walsall, borderline Sutton
so you're
Coldfield.
the other side of the city,
Yeah.
aren't you? You now live in.
I'm in Moseley now,
Yeah.
or just outside Kingseath.
So you're in
Moseley, yeah.
South Birmingham, and then
But,
Rich is in Loxley, isn't he? Towards
near
Stratford,
Stratford.
so there's a good bit of distance.
Yeah.
So not
no.
local, really.
No. Well, I grew up near Stratford, so yeah, I've like deliberately moved to Birmingham to do all this and stuff. So quite a big change, but yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So with that
Yeah.
band together,
Yeah.
when was the first gig?
First gig was in
November 23, wasn't it?
Yes, so
Yeah.
Rich wasn't with us at the time. We had a different drummer. We were a 5-piece with keys. So that was at Mother Studio in Birmingham, which is a place that we really like. We rehearse at.
Great sound.
And
sounds
we've done a
good.
few gigs there, but that was our first gig. Took a while, I think, to get to that point, really. But I think we were keen to ensure we were properly rehearsed, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably did a 9-song set.
It was something like that, yeah.
And then that was and then there was probably a 2-month layoff, I think, and the next one was January the following year with Rich, and that was kind of the
At
next
the
phase
O2,
then.
wasn't it? Which one was it? Institute. Yeah,
in Digbeth,
come on,
which is another
Yeah.
really great venue.
yeah, yeah.
And that was all originals.
It's all
originals,
always
really.
been, yeah.
Do you
We
ever-
did one Pretenders cover at
Yeah.
the first gig,
Did
which was
Kid.
Kid,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we haven't done a cover
haven't.
since.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It went
but-
so well. We haven't done one.
I'm gonna admit,
I love that cover as well.
It was. Yeah, it was
I
right.
take a bit of pride in that we're an originals
Yeah.
band and that we haven't actually done a cover since then. So
Yeah.
you know, it's really because obviously I think I know I'm going on a tangent a bit, but there's a lot of cover bands. There's a lot of function bands, and like for example, we did a gig in Sutton Coldfield at this social club, and they really wanted us. They were going to pay us a good amount, and when you saw the scene, none of them really. The demographic of age was probably about 50s, 60s plus.
Yeah.
And we put on a great show, and nobody was bothered.
They wanted covers, didn't they?
They just wanted covers. They said, I
Yeah.
remember someone said, "Can you play something we know? Like we played with Elvis," and it's just we obviously are learning as a
We
band.
did try Elvis,
It's
didn't
not.
we?
You're learning,
that's not to. That's not to kind of slander cover bands
Of
or
course,
function bands.
yeah.
Obviously, that's absolutely great. It's just something that we decided
We've realised there's certain venues
we couldn't do that.
We
you
go,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that we couldn't go to them. It's just that you start to get to know as you play more gigs. What is the scene? So, for example, there's a bar in Birmingham called Subside. It's very metal. I don't think we would probably suit that.
No.
That's an example.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of songwriting that goes on. So that there's you're obviously very prolific. You write. So there's a lot of music always being written. So we're fortunate in that regard that we don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
dip
Bit of
into
teamwork.
We're not really
covers.
relying on
I
it,
think
yeah.
we'd like to do a cover.
We could afford
you know,
to
I
do
mean,
it, yeah, if we wanted to do one.
I think a cover is a good indication of your influences. You know.
Yeah.
We've all got different influences. I mean, I love Billy Joel. We won't cover him, but you know, we could find some common ground, couldn't we? Some
Yeah.
U2
Yeah.
or The Police or something.
Yeah.
It's you know what's really interesting though is there's a lot of bands and it's like we all have to have the same influence and they end up just being a copy of another band. And when I joined this band, obviously with a very different music taste for me in particular, I thought after those first few rehearsals, I got on with the band. There were some common grounds. Like I do also like the Police. I love Oasis, and you know I've got a mutual connection with the Beatles. I've obviously got to listen to new music, like music I'd never listened to before, like Echo and the Bunnymen. Love the Smiths, who things are out my comfort zone. But what's great is about our band is you got a bass player that's got some rock and metal influences. We've got some Beatles influences. So and that's how you make new music and genres. Or
You don't end up sounding
It's more,
like someone
more
else.
interesting.
Yeah, you don't
definitely.
you don't be a copy and paste of another band with a new name.
We've got so many influences, haven't we? It's like so many. Like every set there might be like 10 different influences or something in every song, which is I kind of deliberately choose that and we try and.
It's actually a
sculpt that, don't we?
challenge, I
It's-
think, sometimes in that you can. We went through a phase of trying to bring different things into the set because we wanted to vary it. But it's difficult as well because it can get so disparate that you kind of
it can be a bit.
it's hard to find that balance, isn't it? And I think we're just finding the balance with that. We've got some heavier stuff in the set now, haven't we?
Yeah.
One thing we haven't done is more of the acoustic thing, so that's something.
Yeah,
We're going off on a bit of a tangent here.
That's all
Des.
right.
I'm not
Just
sure.
right,
Question
No,
was, to be honest.
that's the point. That's the point. Is these
cool.
points you've sent in, George? Or the guys? It's they are just starters.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like going back on, it's about we've got a good friendship, we communicate, and there's a lot of skills that go into making a band. I probably want to go into talk about gigging a little bit. So we're talking about genres.
Sorry to interrupt, George. I am going to ask you one because you just picked on a really, really good point, and you said about being musicians in a band.
Yeah.
Most important. What is the most important thing for you guys? I think I know, but what do you guys think is the most important thing?
What would you say?
Like I mentioned before, the fact that we are genuinely friends, we meet up and spend time with each other. We don't just see each other as a guy who plays an instrument and I play with that guy, I go off the stage. It's we get on with each other. And what's nice is when we have the gigs, our families and friends come, they get on and they bring their friends and then they bring their friends. And it's like there's a community spirit, which
Such
is what
a
I
nice
love.
thing, yeah. Such a nice environment when we do like headline. The last headline one was really cool, wasn't it? That was lovely. Yeah.
I don't disagree with what you said. I think commitment though as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously where we're at, we'll work as most people do, and I think in life, if you've got a hobby or a passion, that's great. But I think to have to go out on evenings, to have to travel, going obviously to Wolves when we did the gig there, and we're looking to do that more. We know we haven't travelled as much as we need to, I suppose. But we're lucky we've got a gig in London set up, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I think that commitment to each other, that, you know, we've been doing this for kind of, you know, over a year now, and people turning up to rehearsals when sometimes maybe they don't want to, or they're tired or whatever, and having that enthusiasm when you're there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're also quite fortunate the fact that we work quite, probably I've got this, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, we have some quite flexible jobs. Like I work some flexi hours.
It definitely helps.
It definitely helps that we work that kind of 9 to 5-ish sort of pattern. We don't work nights. I mean,
that would be difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really. and you know, and obviously, and then we communicate as well, but we don't get into each other's pockets messaging every 10 minutes. You know, we do give each other a bit of a break. Like there was probably one moment where I was sending Dylan, you know, sending you loads of demos, and it got to the point we're writing where.
I enjoyed it.
And I thought, actually, I need to give this guy a break and actually wait until I complete the song.
Well, thank you.
Let you breathe. I mean, it can be. I mean, I can remember past experiences at college, university, when people don't turn up to rehearsals and say, and we've experienced that ourselves. And it's like, are you in or out?
What's the point?
And you know, it gets a little bit frustrating because you don't want to know on the day when you get there. But then if someone keeps cancelling on you as well, it's. Can you rely on them, no matter how talented they are? Have they got? It's a bit like you've had Steve Cooper, you've had was it Rosanna?
Yeah.
And they've mentioned have a positive attitude. You know, be kind to people. Don't you know? Don't be negative towards others. Try and learn as much as you can from other musicians and network.
Yeah, the people skills things is a common theme that's cropping up, and that's why I wanted to ask what was one of the most important. Yeah. So you could. That's a good answer. Yeah. So what do you want to move on to, guys?
So, should we talk about gigging and promoters?
Yeah.
Because
gigging's the biggest thing. The biggest amount of effort, I would say, so far. But obviously we've recorded and we can come to that. But that's been our predominant thing, hasn't it?
As a live band, yeah.
It's you know, you had Des Tong on from Sad Cafe, and he was talking about, and I was really absolutely, you know, it was really interesting how he was saying. Oh, there was a gig in Birmingham every night and it was full, and then you could play different venues. And
That's cool.
And I just thought, I wasn't born in 1970 or 80. I was born in 97. So we're not, you know, we're having challenges, and a challenge is we were with one promoter, and some promoters, they're all different. They all work differently. They all communicate differently. And one particular promoter wanted us, and we were like, yes, we're going to play at this venue. Yeah, can you do Wednesday on the last day of the month where nobody's got their pay? And it's like a Wednesday night in the city where nobody's got money. And then I think 12 people are in the room, including some of the bands. And you've sold more tickets, and then the headliner's on and nobody's in the room. Right. And it's trying to get people to come. And obviously, like I mentioned, nobody's got money. It's a Wednesday night. It's towards the end of the month before payday, and it's and you know, when you see that headliner, you know, performing, they've got nobody in the room. It's how do you get someone to come at that time?
I think you've kind of outlined the cons. I think the pros are you need to do it because you need to gig because it tightens you up. I think musically, I think it puts you under pressure. Yeah. And I think by putting yourself under pressure, you become closer, kind of, as people anyway. You know, you develop your musical kind of understanding of each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You see these bands like, you know, the Stones and things. They've obviously been playing together a long time, but they gig a lot as well. You know, and Springsteen's band, they gig a lot, and people say how tight they are. You know, I think it comes from playing live. You know, you can. Yeah. Do other things and write music, which we do, but if we didn't do that as well, you know, and then you can hear that in the recorded output of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's important to do it, but it's disheartening sometimes, as you say, when you kind of, some gigs are great, but the reality is, you know, you have to keep your head up, don't you? Yeah. Some of them aren't that good, going, and you've got to keep going.
And, you know, there've been gigs where we've performed with really top quality acts. And you just think, I'm so glad I've played with you. And there've been gigs where we've played with some people where they've not been at a particular standard, and we're thinking, you know, whether they've had a few drinks before they go on stage, or
it goes up in levels though, doesn't it? It's like sport, you know. It's kind of I think we went a long time. We did 5 or 6 gigs feeling really comfortable, feeling like the best people in the room. Yeah, and then a gig comes along and you see another band, and it might be any number of reasons, but you think that's the competition there. That's the level. It might be the actual songs. It might be the musicianship or the way they present themselves. But you have to have that uncomfortable experience to.
It's good when you
put
get
the fire in your belly, I think.
Yeah.
And improve.
Definitely. Yeah. It's nice though. I think we've been doing there's been some promoters that we're quite regular with now, and they like us. Yeah. They like our music, and they're like, you put on you bring people in, and they want, because at the end of the day, the promoters hire the venue. They need to make the money back, I believe, from getting the space. They need to sell tickets, and they want to make sure But if your band's only selling one ticket, why are they going to put you on a headliner? When we were with a particular promoter, they said, you're getting people in the door. You brought 30 people in. You brought 35 out of the 100 people in the room. You brought 40 in, etc. So we want you to headline the next gig, and that's a real pleasure when they recognise that.
Yeah,
we can't mention people even in a good light.
Yeah.
Because
that's your call, yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say Arthur Tapp at the Catapult Club's been really supportive of us. So
yeah,
I don't know if he'll see this, but we'll tell him that we've done it. So
give a shout out to Arthur.
He's really, really important in the Birmingham music scene anyway, and he's helped us a bit, hasn't he? So that's been good.
And I think it's quite important if you've got guys that you've had or people, I should say, that have had really good experience and supporting the music, especially original, then absolutely, of course, mention them.
Yeah.
There are so many, like you've had many people on this podcast, Des, and they always say networking. Social media is one thing, but being a good person, being kind, actually being there when they perform and complimenting and taking inspiration and asking them questions. Wow, how did where did you learn that from? That was a great song. Can I buy your music? Really making an effort, and not just for the sake of getting something off them, but showing that you do respect the effort they've put in creating the music. We're at the Jam House, and there was this incredible artist called Heidi Brown.
Yeah.
And
everyone that night was incredible.
Everyone that, and she was like on her own, saying nobody buys CDs anymore. And it's a real shout. And I just went, I want to buy a CD. And I'm so glad, because I've listened to that now, and it makes going to work so much better. And it's a really good album.
Yeah,
it's called Spirits Alive.
I hope she bought a badge of ours.
Yeah,
who opened into that?
I think so.
Yeah, got a bit of merch there.
We're not going to get
a bit of reciprocal business.
Yeah.
The buying of physical copies, or even paying the artist direct via, say, Bandcamp or SoundCloud, is something that I'm really eager to
we can talk about that.
Discuss or talk. Well, you guys can talk about it if you want to, and your thoughts on it, because the streaming platforms, it's a fantastic advertising
convenience.
It's advertising, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's where you're going to be able to get the numbers. So it's quite impressive when you've got somebody that says, "Oh, I've got 50,000 streams." But obviously, that's not going to pay for your studio time, and your rehearsals and your instruments and everything else. So the push to try and get people to actually invest in the bands, I think was what you was kind of linking on to, George. I think it's massively important right now. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, guys? Have you got your stuff on SoundCloud or Bandcamp or any of that?
Actually,
I think we're on SoundCloud now. I've been setting up a Bandcamp, I think, at some point. But what do we think about streaming in general, that kind of thing?
That's a big question. What do you think about it, Dylan?
Go on, Dylan.
What do I think? Well, I think it's a great platform for getting stuff out, definitely. Obviously, like in terms of money, you're not really going to get much back at all, not for quite a long time. But I mean, it's kind of revolutionary in the fact that you can just get things out. Like when my dad was in bands in the 80s and stuff, but like he's talked about for ages how difficult it was just to release something, just to get actually people to hear it. And I think
there was a larger upfront investment needed back in the day. I don't honestly know, but I say that kind of on the back of what you're saying, the cost of pressing vinyl. I mean, perhaps you might be able to shed light.
No, actually, it was Rose. the previous guest that mentioned the fact that she'd taken a decision purely from financial reasons, not to release a physical copy of her stuff. She can somewhere down the line, but at the moment it was not financially viable.
Yeah.
So
and that tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's limiting for her, isn't it?
But I think I remember rightly, where she's mentioned the most sort of financial reward coming back was things like SoundCloud and Bandcamp, where people are actually investing in the artist. And again, I said this it was Nick who was on the very first podcast, Nick J. Townsend, I don't know if you know him, but he's in band Week 13, and we were talking about you've got these massive people with massive fan bases, but they aren't actually buying your product.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things we kind of talk about.
Digital media. And so, do you know what? I remember growing up, whether that's music, video games, or books, there is something nice from from a sensual kind of aspect, from the smell of the book or seeing the artwork, reading the lyrics, whatever that is. There is something, and that's you. There's no internet connection. That is your experience. And yes, okay, there's inconvenience of it takes up space. But there is something nice of pulling the vinyl out of the sleeve, putting it on there, and it's just you and your own.
It's artwork, vinyl, isn't it? It's a physical. Yeah. It's tangible. I think we live in a world where, the people own things but can't touch them. So I find that a little bit sad. And particularly for artists, that's damaging, isn't it?
That's a great phrase.
And I think that it's true though, isn't it?
You can't touch.
Yeah. But the SoundCloud and Bandmix, isn't it? Is
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yeah. I think they're good middle grounds between streaming and physical CD, vinyl, or anything else. They're good middle ground for artists that aren't established, such as ourselves, to generate some income.
Yeah.
We've been really lucky in terms of recording, haven't we? Through connections we've got. Yeah. That hasn't cost us anything really. And we've been really nowhere near as much as it should have done. Yeah. But I can't imagine. I honestly don't know what we'd do if we didn't have that connection and we had to pay. And
I mean, we've done we've done home recording at mine.
I suppose that's the alternative, isn't it?
It's like yes, you can go and buy Logic Pro, and I think was it Steve Cooper that said, music is meant to be played with other people. Yes. And, I've had Matt round, I've had Dylan round. Let's go and get these. We've recorded them and it sounds great, but there's nothing going to beat you in a room, with a mic set up, the drum set, and you play to each other instead of editing this, fixing that. And I guess there's some great things with Logic, like you can turn the reverb down. Amp models are so much better compared to what they were 10 or 20 years ago. Drum and MIDI drums have come so far. But nothing is going to. I think Des Tong said this on your podcast. Nothing's going to physically beat a drummer that is not perfect, that have got their own feeling when they play. Yeah. And and it's sort. And obviously we're going to this world of AI. I'm going on a tangent. I know.
Don't worry.
the world of AI as well.
No.
God.
Oh wow, there's a lot to say in that in a podcast in itself.
Yeah. We've tried a lot of different kinds of recording now, haven't we? We've first thing we did, the Odeon sessions, that was like pretty much fully live with a few overdubs in the studio.
And that was our EP that was released on Spotify last year. That was great.
Not sure which one was.
But no, it was a Peel session type of arrangement,
the idea.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Right down to the fact that I labelled it with the exact way that the Peel sessions are labelled.
Hatful of hollow, yeah. So in other words, that was played live with kind of minimal overdubs, wasn't it?
Only like vocals and a few things.
So we did that on the EP. Yeah. I think we were relatively happy with it. Yeah. And then the first kind of actual single that we put out sometimes, we decided that required quite a polished production, but also the playing to the click. Yeah. It's quite a technical arrangement, so that required a different approach, and we really enjoyed that again. And then we're kind of like working out. I guess every song needs its own. You couldn't go into something to record an album and say the album's going to be recorded like this. I guess it has to be song by song.
Depends on the feel, doesn't it, and that kind of thing. But
I think like on a summary of this one, it's I think you're quite fortunate to find band members, and when you find band members. Do we all have the skills of? I think we're all fortunate as well that we can drive. we all, yes, okay, we all don't live up the road from each other, but we all get along. We're all at a level that we're happy with each other. Where we're willing to work on, where we can stop each other and say, actually, can we work on this?
Yeah.
And have that communication. The fact that we're it's not just something we've done for a month and then knocked it on the head. We're gigging, and I think I think you were talking. I don't know who you were talking with, Des, but you were sort of saying how people don't know band members anymore, or people, there's a less focus on bands. And I don't know, there was a YouTube video, I forgot the YouTuber's name, and he said there's not been many bands in the charts.
Rick Beato, probably.
Was it him?
I'd imagine so.
And and I think the only band in the chart was the Beatles, because they had that last song. And and then was it
all
Coldplay?
Solo artists now.
And
Coldplay are
very
always in it, aren't they? They're kind of an exception, I guess, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but they've had to evolve to
very much
stay there, with the
And-
collaborations and things.
And then I've spoke to other bands, and some of them were saying, "Oh, should we go on Britain's Got Talent?" These other bands. And then I saw something on Britain's Got Talent
Shall
the
we?
other week. Shall we? Yeah. And there was this teenage guitarist,
Yeah.
and I think he just played like the rhythm guitar of Van Halen. Then he started playing "Don't Stop Me Now," the guitar solo, and it was great because he's a teenager and that.
Yeah.
But I think I could be wrong. He might have his life set up now through Simon Cowell.
But he did. In fairness
and
to him,
he
he did
played
have a
well.
lot of confidence for a 12-year-old,
And,
didn't he?
and he's incredible.
I don't think I could do that in front of 3,000
Same.
people. But yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's like, I think Rosanna was talking about this, wasn't she about the talent shows?
Yeah.
And some people, it's like, do you want to? It's not that you skip the hard work. It's sort of it's another way to get yourself out there if you see that opportunity.
It's a lot easier to just be on your own, obviously. But I think there's so many advantages to having a group of people.
I'm
Just the
amazed
momentum.
by solo artists. It
couldn't do
amazes
it,
me
couldn't do it.
the kind of confidence and kind of reassurance that they have to give themselves.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see
Of
them
course,
and
yeah.
they've got to travel on their own, and then they get there and you might go to like a rubbish gig, but you pick each other up, you go for a beer or whatever.
a
Imagine
laugh
just
about it,
doing
yeah.
that on your own,
Yeah.
lugging your own merchandise around.
Be quiet.
And,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of
So
respect
hard,
for people that
yeah.
do that. But you're right. I think for us it works that we've got that.
Just gives us momentum, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like any time that it's like we're either a little bit down or there's like a drop in something,
Someone
it's
else
like,
picks it up.
yeah, that's great.
Okay, so you guys are, right now you're quite busy. So what exactly are you doing right now? And what's the follow-on? What's the plan after that?
Combination of stuff, really. I mean, obviously, seeing how important live stuff is to us, we're still doing gigs, as many gigs as we can, really, and trying to stretch that out across the country. Like, we got this one in London lining up, others in Birmingham,
Really
and that kind of
excited
thing.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know, that's really
Yeah.
cool. Like, for instance, last year where did we do outside of
Did
Birmingham?
Wolverhampton,
Technically
we
Wolves,
did
yeah. Bristol right at the end of the year, yeah. And then aside from that, just recording, really. We just did like a demo session, didn't we? It might get out. I'm going to see how we feel about it.
We've
but
got we've got some contenders for singles.
yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
We've got a
and
catalogue of
we
songs.
recorded them as demos, didn't we, to give us an idea of what the
Yeah.
next one is. I think we see kind of singles as really important milestones for where you're at. So we just I think we've got an idea of what the next one will be.
Yeah.
And we just need to get in the studio and
Should we talk a bit about that?
Yeah,
about
absolutely,
rearranging
yeah.
that stuff? But yeah, next one's going to be. So the first one was very like Echo and the Bunnymen, bit of Smiths, like very post-punk 80s.
it's a great song.
This is, thank you very much. And then this is kind of going more into like the beats, that kind of thing. Kind of still sort of post-punk with a bit of jangly indie, but very much like I wrote it. Oh God, when was it? It was probably like about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
But like getting really infused about is when I moved to Birmingham about a year ago, and just really getting into like the beat and selector and all
Two-tone
that sort of
thing
stuff.
and the bass lines.
And just sort of a little tribute to that, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're fortunate in that regard. When we watch a lot of bands, we do have that. You don't see that as an influence anymore,
No,
really.
no.
You don't see the whole.
quite-
The Police were really good at that, in that they had
Yeah.
that reggae influence. I mean, I don't listen to reggae, but I really like when it's combined with rock in that.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
quite good at that, And I don't see
Yeah.
many other people doing that at the minute.
yeah.
Like like I mentioned before, when you have a mixture of things, then you're not just copy this genre. You can make really interesting things. Obviously, do it in your own way. Like, for example, I see a lot of bass play. As a bass player, some people come up to me and say, "You play with a pick." It's a stylistic choice, and and there's a lot of I see a lot of guitarists picking up bass and just playing some root notes, and there's nothing wrong with root notes, but it's trying to like push yourself and experiment with your instrument, doing some research with your instrument, trying to pick up maybe a book and look at some bass lines, maybe look at the whether it's tablature or listening, and nothing beats your ears, listening to some different bands and actually saying, what are they doing there? Could I apply that in this song and make this song more interesting? Because when I started, I think I just wanted to get the general chord progressions down, and then it grew into more melody lines. And I think we've all grown different, amazing overdubs and different parts since we started.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's mad.
And we're looking at festivals as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
This year. We've contacted a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, applied a good amount now. Yeah.
Kind of waiting to hear back. I think that's the. It's just the unfortunate thing. Sometimes you're not quite sure what you need to do or where you need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's TikTok or something. I'm not sure what you need to do these days. But
It's a strange thing.
You kind of. I know we're not on our own. There's so many people doing it that don't get their kind of just rewards. But I just sometimes don't know.
So it's like social
where
media.
you go or what you need to do.
It's like you need it, but you don't want it to consume you. I mean, when we started, it was emails, messengers on Instagram, Facebook, and you don't want it to kind of take over because you've got to get through your day. At the end of the day, we're working, and if that's taking up an hour and a half of your day, that's an hour and a half of your life that have gone. And so it's keeping the options open. Like sometimes some promoters or some people are better with email, some are better with a simple phone call, some are just better with a quick WhatsApp message. And so it's there's no exact answer. It's networking.
Such a strange thing. But the social media thing's such a hard game because we've deliberately tried, well, I think we've sort of deliberately tried not to do anything that we kind of deem as a bit corny. Not naming anything in particular.
Yes.
But just there's so many bands and people just doing that, and I really, I'm just not a fan.
Do you know what?
I don't know what it is.
I'm kind of the opinion. I think that's fine short term. I don't think long term it's actually gonna get you anywhere. I think if you haven't got the music, really, it's like you wear a you can wear a suit and a tie, but you can get found out, can't you? You need to know what you're doing, And I think long term, people that do that, I don't think they get where they want to go either. I think it's just so. I think we're right to take the approach we've taken, focus on the important stuff, and
we've tried to sort of cultivate that. I run most of the social media stuff, but trying to put out like high quality photos and that sort of thing, as much high quality video as we can, and anything like that. Just take inspiration. I've been looking at like Fontaine's DC, and I know that's like a very big step from where we are.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what's current,
What
but
are they
also
doing?
not like corny or a bit bad. That's it. But but yeah.
I always thought in terms of making it, I always had the impression that it would be right place, right time.
Yeah.
A label owner sees you playing a gig and that's how you get kind of to the next thing. But I'm not sure that is the case anymore. And I honestly don't know what it is. I'm not sure, but I don't think that happens anymore.
People are watching social media more now. Like we've
To
had
see
this
what's
recent
trending,
experience.
do you
Yeah.
It's like,
That's crazy. But sorry, John.
so, no, it's all right. It's going back on the getting people out to come to see original gigs. Again, I was born in 1997. I did not experience the 60s, 70s, 80s. But you had it seemed like back in the day you had a poster. Oh, they look pretty cool. Go to it. You put on a show. You hold a memory, and there's no sort of social media. You had to keep that memory and spread the word,
and then go and see them again.
Yeah, go and see them again when you can. Now it's like, why should I go out and see this band when I can watch Bon Jovi in 1982 for 2 hours on my 4K TV in a remastered footage?
Is that something you do, George? I'd imagine.
On the weekends.
I did the same.
You've just picked up on something there that again has been discussed. The physical copies of records. you would go out and you would pick up and you would go into a music shop, you go to whatever section, rock, metal, reggae, pop, whatever, and then you would see a cool album cover and you would buy an album based on the cover.
Yeah.
Just the artwork.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd
Dark Side of the Moon, Tubular Bells.
yeah, anything, well, you name whatever you want, but you'd look at the cover
Yeah.
and you'd pick it up and you'd take it home and then you put it on, and even if you didn't quite like it, you would still listen to it because
Yeah.
you just spent quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
You grow an attachment to
And
it
then
as
you
well.
open it up and there's pictures of bands.
Yeah.
And you back then you were looking at the only way you could find out information if when there were magazines,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
interviews
Yeah.
possibly on, you know, I mean when MTV kicked off that was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But now what you just said about the social media, but then the only way you could physically see the bands was live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the gigs
Yeah.
were huge. I mean, I can still remember gigs at the NEC.
It's
and there
more-
was
Yeah,
full.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like more. It seemed like it was more appreciated. It's now I could book a week off work, sit down on my phone, and just watch endless content of bands, original bands, the band I like, and that could last me to the end of my life if I wanted to. But there's a positive side of social media, and there's also a negative. Like you can get really inspired and see all this great stuff, and then it can really deflate you, demotivate you, seeing too much stuff.
That is hard. Yeah.
to balance.
Inspiration thing is really important.
Of course, yeah.
The other
Yeah.
thing as well that you mentioned before, I think, Matt, you said about the people promoters and whatnot. The social media, they will look at your following.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, yeah.
It's numbers,
That-
innit?
yeah,
And then
it
that's
is a
an
numbers game.
indication.
Yeah.
I ain't even going to look at them like, oh,
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
worth
I
my
still
time,
don't
they
think
are.
you can, and you know, you may agree, disagree. You can't beat the experience of live music.
You can't.
Yeah.
And again, that's why it's really good to get you guys in because you're writing all original material and you're gigging regularly. And I think trying to get that kind of scene, like, there are a lot of people out there trying to support
Yeah.
musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know,
I think what COVID shown us when that happened, and I think obviously it was, you know, we won't go into detail on that, but I think
Yeah.
one of the main things people really missed was interaction with people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then when the
definitely.
Rishi's Dishes and all the pubs reopened, everyone went down there. But it was just. But then, and I remember when gigs started happening. I remember people saying,
Yeah.
"I can't wait for gigs to start happening,"
Yeah.
and there was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've not got mathematical data, but there was an upsurge because I think people missed it, and I think that shows.
Another
Yeah.
was.
Maybe that's not
Yeah.
necessarily been sustained, but I think that shows how vital it is to people.
Become a cornerstone, hasn't it, for artists
I think
as well?
so,
It's kind
yeah.
of the main way they make an income. out
Yeah,
of it,
I think you just have to be discerning which gigs perhaps you target, but then you can't
Definitely
go
it's a
you can't go
smart
too far because you can't
Yeah.
forget where you are. You know, we're not like we can't. You know, we ain't got Wembley calling us next week, so it's hard to.
Yeah.
You never
You've
know,
still
mate.
got to put yourself out there, but you learn
Yeah.
to
It's-
target certain things,
Yeah.
don't you, as well?
I think I don't know. Was it on the lot again? I'm watching a lot of your podcast. Was it on one of your shows? If you're just going in it for the fame and the money, you probably are going to be dissatisfied. You know, it's like we've got a band, yeah, and then what's next? We've got some original music, yeah. Let's get it fixed. Next goal, let's get our first gig, and it's the milestones. So now gigging is pretty normal for us now. It's like let's get out of the West Midlands.
One thing you said there,
Go on.
money. You don't make any money. You don't
Oh,
make
yeah.
any money whatsoever, do
It's
you?
not really.
You
I mean,
lose money,
not at this
but you
point, yeah.
you have to content yourself with that.
You
know?
can't. The money's there. You can make money.
You can,
but
yeah.
it's does not going to just fall in your lap.
No,
And
no,
if you
that's-
watch,
yeah.
you mentioned one of you guys mentioned Rick Beato.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You would, yeah,
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
you got,
Yeah,
well,
that guy,
watch his
yeah.
interview with Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, and he talks about this in quite some depth.
okay.
Very
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
really good
Yeah.
interview, as most of them are.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
all of them are.
He's talented.
yeah,
he's
he's
that
great,
news,
yeah.
isn't
Well,
it?
yeah, but
Good
Rick's
singer
a
as well.
great interviewer.
It's it's when it comes to it. I had a friend, I had a catch up in the pub, and she said to me, "Oh wow, I bet you get a lot of money from these gigs you do every few weeks." I was like, "Well, I've got to be honest with you. Yeah, so we could sell 40 tickets, £10 each. We get £3 for each ticket. We've got to split that 4 ways.
Yeah.
And then you got 60 quid or whatever it is. Yeah, you got to split that 4 ways. And so people are thinking, oh yeah, you're in a band, I bet you get a bit of extra cash. And it's just, well, we don't do it for that. We like writing music.
That's
we
the
like
thing,
being
yeah.
together. We like performing. We like
Yeah.
expressing ourselves through music and having a social and being with the crowd and meeting new people along the way, whether they are photographers, other band members, other musicians, friends of friends, and, you know, making connections. And that's, to me, it's about community and living, really, in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of the reason why a lot of the guys that are in the originals bands, they're doing covers and function bands because that's funding, because that does get paid.
It does, yeah,
And
of course. Well, it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach who came on, he's done that for a long time.
musician.
Yeah.
But his main desire, his main push is to get these original music.
Zach
out.
is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I've had on that's putting original music out there has mentioned. We've all mentioned the tribute scene and everything that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, when I was in Colombia and I left teaching and I wanted to get back into a band, it was a consideration. It felt, it sounds cruel when I say this. I don't want to use the word cop out, because obviously people join a covers band or a function band because it's fun, it's great. You want to be like the people you love and inspire. I love AC/DC. I'd love to be an Angus Young
And get paid.
and get paid a lot of money, and and there are some amazing. I saw the bootleg Beatles. I see them.
They're great,
They're incredible.
I saw Brit Floyd at the Symphony Hall a few weeks ago. That was amazing as well. Like really, really amazing. That
When people are screaming Ringo, Ringo, and it is fun, and there are some really I think there was an interesting mashup I saw on the local scene, the ELO Beatles. They did
I've seen them,
and I thought that looked interesting. And some people do get a bit creative with it, so it does sort of go, oh wow, what is that?
Well, I've seen the ELO Encounter group, and it was a cut down version, not the full show. Oh, great. You can't go anywhere to see. You can't go anywhere to see them.
No.
And I mean, a lot of the. I mean, obviously we've got the Black Sabbath gig coming up.
Yeah.
Somebody set up the same gig, but with cover bands of those bands
That's
that are
good.
playing. So the people who
great.
can't go,
That's very
gonna
good
go
to
to
humour.
that.
That is as well.
There was
isn't
like
it?
a festival in. I don't know if it was in Derby called the Dubs of Rock, and it was like. It was like Stiff Biscuit and Black Sabbath and
Zach Sabbath's great. Have you seen him?
Yeah. It was the O2 Academy. I said Zach Sabbath.
Sorry.
But I know Zach Sabbath.
Yeah.
I saw the footage of Zach Sabbath, and my God, Zach Wild is great. Incredible. And it's about some people want to be authentic like the artist. Some people want to do their own spin. Like I think Zach Sabbath definitely his own spin. As far as I'm aware, they've changed the key. He's put his own way of singing in it, and it's incredible what people can do.
Some of those bands though that you like, that had a limited amount of time as a live band. For example, the bootleg Beatles.
Yeah.
They're quite important, I think, because the Beatles were only.
Yeah.
They were playing live for maybe 6 years, but when they were famous for only kind of 4 of them, which is a really brief period, giving people the opportunity to relive that live that experience is important, and the Sabbath ones as well. Sabbath live with Ozzy is quite a brief thing, really, so
I think
fair play to them,
There's something in that with what we do is that we're talking about music scene in the past and we weren't there, but I read stuff about like Brum Beat and that kind of thing, and the whole Midlands scene, talking to like my relatives and stuff about going out at the time and that kind of thing. It's just amazing, like the move and all that kind of thing. But that's kind of what at least like partly the ambition with this band for me at least was to sort of get that kind of feeling back into the city. I
think a lot of people want it. It's just about having enough of those people in the same place at the same time, isn't it?
I think also. Probably going to go on a tangent here. Let me know if I am, Des. It's
you're going off on a tangent.
That's all right, mate.
So times have changed, and I think from gathering my experience of teaching music, it's also the access as music has changed.
Yeah.
So like education, some schools don't teach it anymore. Some places don't provide guitar lessons, so people are relying on the internet, which is great in many ways, providing you go down the right rabbit hole and not on the bad ones. Nothing's going to beat having a tutor or a family member to show you, and I think that can really impact original music, or for people to actually try and get out there.
We just have too many distractions.
Yeah, or too
as well. We have too many I look at my own. I'm not talking of anyone else here. I mean, obviously everyone works. You get tired. You come in from work. You kind of sit there. You want to watch the football or whatever you want to do. Or people have social media and things. And I think it's just if you didn't have that, well, one we'd have withdrawal symptoms. But if you genuinely didn't have that, I think it would force you towards
more. I
that
call them
guitars in
natural,
the corner of the room. Or pick that up for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and also
it's something that I wish I did more. I wish I played the guitar more. It's really such a strange thing for someone who plays guitar to say, but it's just that life has a lot of distractions, I think, these days, and it's just, you know.
Also, like being, you know, also places have changed over the years, demographics, etc. So you're going to definitely get live music in some places, and some places unfortunately don't have any venues compared to like maybe 50 or 70 years ago. So it's knowing your places, keeping in that network bubble of people, and I think, you know, considering, like I mentioned at the start of the podcast, we're not up the road from each other. It would be ideal if we all lived on the same road. We all live in very different areas of that Midlands area. And that's an effort in itself to meet up, but it is worth it.
Yeah,
it is worth it.
100%.
It is definitely 100% worth, especially with the friendship and teamwork we have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what's the next thing then for you guys? You some more recording, or is he just going to be trying to hit the live shows, or?
Well, a mixture of both, really. It's kind of, definitely.
I think we
definitely
need to get we've laid
Do the
off
next
some of the gigs because we did a lot, didn't we? We
Yeah.
did a lot, so we've laid off that. So we get some more of them in. We would ideally like to fill kind of May to August with at least some festivals. We have, I mean, you in particular have. I think we've tried, you know, to contact a lot of people. Unfortunately, we haven't really heard back just yet, so we'll continue to do that. Fill up those months and get the single recorded, hopefully maybe in April, released in May. I think we said we'd like to release a single maybe every 5-6 months if we can.
Yeah.
So,
if not sooner,
you know, try and stick to
Try
that.
and manage it with our own lives and our own commitments.
And actually, you know, what we want and what we're looking for is a good support slot. You know, we can't seem to see some bands. I can't think of anyone. You know, I'm not going to name names, but you know, you see some people and you think, have they got that kind of slot? You know, and I think it would be. It's just, how do we get that? I see that as a logical next step, a good support slot. And I don't know whether it's about who you know or social media, but you know, you kind of think when you're gigging a lot in a city like Birmingham, you think eventually you're going to get kind of an opportunity, you know. And I'm not sure we've had the London thing is an opportunity that's come our way. And we've obviously took that with
the Utopia's gig at Dead Blacks was really good.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. That's probably like the first one that we've had like that of a really good support.
Yeah, where you're not bottom of the bill and you feel like
yeah.
you've kind of moved up maybe a level.
So it is starting to happen.
It is, yeah.
It's a process.
Because it's not
isn't it?
overnight either, as well, is it? You
No,
know, some
no,
people
no.
play for years. You
It's
know.
kicking the door down with some promoters, because some promoters absolutely like us, and then other promoters don't know us, but they've got their same 5 bands that they trust and that they know they can get
that is
tickets in,
strange.
and it's trying to kick the door down for them, because it's like we're someone new and different that can potentially get you more tickets as well as the you know, and obviously it's understandable, they've got a business to run, they want to have what they know, and that knows that can get the drinks in at the bar, etc. So it's, and you know, and that takes time to build. So yeah,
And lastly, doing more things like this. And thanks for having us on, Des.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
yeah.
good of you. So, you know, doing not just seeing it as gigging or recording, but there are other things we can do as well.
No, pleasure to have you guys on.
I mean, it's honestly, I thank you for Des, and because I didn't expect you to reply.
Well, no,
I just
Most
thank you for coming in.
Most
guys.
people don't reply to me, to fairness. So.
no, it's just what's interesting is when I messaged Des, I thought he's got this is such rich experience on his podcast with people that have been at the right place at the right time, and also very talented. Wouldn't it be great for Des just to show a local band in the modern day?
I'm hoping to do more of that. There's a couple of producers I've been talking to that I want to try and get on. So I want all aspects really. And
Very cool,
young, old, you know, whatever they're doing, bringing something into the, you know, to the table.
Yeah.
And really, just focusing on the music.
You normally ask this famous question now at the end of your shows.
What? Oh, the what advice would you give to people starting, that kind of thing? Yeah, I do because I've always. This is going to sound hypocritical now, but try not to give advice, but discuss
Your own thoughts on what you've done.
maybe how you're thinking.
Just reflecting on that.
So, because when you give people advice, some people tend to will say, "Well, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be told how to do something." But if there's something that you guys in particular have learned that you think that was a massive learning curve, That's worth talking about.
I think articulate. I'll say my bit and then I'll shut up because I
Come on,
spoke
mate,
a bit.
we'll do
I think I've been in a few bands, not as many bands as some people, and I think tension sometimes is a thing, and I think to articulate yourself with each other because you spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to do that. I think we're pretty good at that with the communication. I think not letting things, kind of get too much or whatever. I think that's quite important. And also kind of as well, we're all kind of people going through things as well. So I think it's important to sometimes take a step back and not kind of like bite back at people and be understanding of each other and that. So I think that's quite important, and I think something that we do pretty well, to be honest.
No, definitely.
I'd probably say keep positive. I know that's really easier said than done these days.
You're very good at that, though, George.
Am I?
Probably
Thank
the
you.
best out of all.
I think one thing I would suggest is knowing when to let go of something, and that could be of a particular, knowing, just accepting this is not working, whether that is a band member, an idea, and not to get too disheartened and to get attached to that. We've had to go through that a few times.
Yeah.
Learning to take criticism, obviously. We have many strengths and weaknesses as a band. I'm on the theory side a lot, which can help, skip some few things.
Yeah.
You're good with technology as well.
It's a gift and a curse at the same time. I think we've all got that with our strengths and weaknesses. And what was the extra thing? Giving each other probably space when you're messaging, like I mentioned before, and including when you contact promoters, you can send 7 messages. And you don't want to bombard them and go and get yourself written off. Going, the message just 7
And
times.
they're probably getting 7 from how many people.
Yeah. So learning space. Yeah, I'm going to summarize that. What about you, Dylan?
I think just setting up, and thinking about it, there's a lot of reasons, just setting up, as we're all saying, the longevity of the band and that kind of thing, because it's linked into both of what you're saying. But it's so easy to put pressure on yourself, and especially I have that quite a lot. Just like kind of putting pressure on yourself, comparing yourself to other people, and you just can't do it. You've got to kind of plough your own road.
You're in it for the long run,
and
aren't you?
and find people like you guys who are as well. I mean, it's easier said than done, but when you find that, you just, I don't know, it's such a significant thing. But I mean,
it's really hard when you find some good people. You have to stick with it. You might have a bad. It's like if you've got a good job, but you have a bad kind of day or week. You weigh it up and you think, well, the pros are better than the cons, so we'll stick with it because I don't think I could do any better. So I don't know what you guys think. So and when you feel that, if it isn't going great, just stick with it.
You're the Johnny Marr of the West Midlands, as I've
That's very
always
kind
said.
of you to say.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
you're the what would your base? Who's your base hero? Geezer.
Probably Geezer,
Geezer.
Lemmy,
Geezer
there's
Butler
many.
of the 21st
There's many.
century.
Yeah, and you're the Engelbert Humperdinck of Pebble.
That's right.
That's really good, guys. Is there anything else, or are you happy to wrap it up there?
That's a nice
Just
logical
really happy to
conclusion,
be
mate.
really happy
Thank
to
you.
be in Walsall. Des, thanks for having us.
Okay. No, a pleasure. I'm so glad you guys got to come in and we sorted it out, because it's taken a little while just to sort things out and get things said.
Yeah, no
but
worries.
no, it's great, guys. What I'm going to do is I'll get, as I said before, I'll get you to send all information over regarding your music, and I'll get that onto the description of the video. So I'll just do a sign out. So I want to say thank you again for coming in, guys. Much appreciated.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Okay.
Des.
Peace and love.
Right, guys, thank you so much for listening and or watching. Please go into the description below the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, but also go and check out these guys are Fazeleys. Well, we've got 3 out of the 4 people here, but go and give them a like and a follow. Ideally, go and purchase some music if you like it, and even better, if you can, go out and see them playing live. But as I said, don't be shy. Leave a comment in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.